Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today, good news. Secondaries are potentially making a much wanted and much needed comeback with some changes to the commander's skill system. So this is a DevBlog that came out yesterday on Thursday as I'm recording this, amidst just a tidal wave of DevBlogs and new content announcements and new content additions. So I'm sorry it took me a little while to get to this, but here we are. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into this DevBlog. If you want to read along as I read aloud, link to the DevBlog will be in the description down below, and I do encourage you guys to check this out for yourself. So I'll throw up any relevant images or artwork if there are any in this DevBlog. And again, if you want to read along as I read aloud, check out the link down below. But here we go. So ST 10.7 changes to commander's skills. Details of the commander's skills changes planned for update 10.7. Please note that all information in the DevBlog is preliminary. Announced adjustments and features may change multiple times during testing. The following information will be published on our game's website. More than 2 updates have passed since the last commander skills changes. During this time, we collected a lot of feedback and statistical data. And, based on it, we worked on balance and improved or replaced non-popular skills. We worked on balance and improving. Well, again, the English translation is not that great. Worked on balancing and improving or replacing non-popular skills. Some skills may have some new effects added for the purpose of countering submarines, which will become available in ranked battles starting in update 10.7. Again, they ask you, please note that the name and characteristics of some skills can be changed during testing. So, Battleship skills. Line 1, so your 1-point skills. Pyrotechnician added a bonus of plus 15% to the fragmentation damage area of main battery and secondary battery shells, as well as HE rockets and bombs when firing at submarines. So you have a larger area where your shells will deal damage to submarines if you take the Pyrotechnician skill with battleships. Alright, line 2, so 2-point skills. Consumables enhancements. The skills replaced with Brisk increase your ship speed by 10% while undetected, which is the old Swift and Silence. So consumable enhancements is gone from the 2-point skill. So let's see if they add in elsewhere. Alright, still in line 2. Vigilance added a bonus plus 7% to torpedo protection. So damage reduction. So it's adding a 7% on top of that already, let's say 30% of your torpedo protection, which is good because we have that CV skill that takes away some of that torpedo protection. So that's a nice counter to that. Alright. AA Gunner added a bonus plus 10% damage caused by depth charges. Added an activated effect. Ship consumables reload 5% faster while the ship's AA is active. Okay, that's interesting. So the depth charges are, of course, meant to be the depth charges taken by the ASW planes that you summon in when you have submarines added into the game that some battleships get. So you can buff the damage of those there. Alright, line 3. Added a new skill instead of enhanced anti-torpedo protection. Activated effect. Oh, so this one doesn't have a name yet. Activated effect. Negative 0.5% to the reload time of the repair party consumable for each potential damage value received, equal to the ship's total HP. What? So for each number, so for each bit of potential damage that you get a 0.5% boost to the reload time of your repair party consumable. That's pretty cracked out. Okay, the name of the skill is currently a work in progress. So it can go up to equal to the ship's total HP. So like you won't have like an insane boost if you have like 2 million potential damage tanked. It's just going to go up to your ship's HP. So like if you're at a GK, like 105,000 damage. Okay, I see. All right. So that's max for like a GK, like a 50% boost, which is pretty nutty. All right. Expert AA Marksman added a bonus negative 15% to the reload time of the airstrike armament, including the one of the anti-submarine defense aircraft. So this it's interesting how they worded this. So a 50% boost to the reload time of the airstrike armament. Okay, I can see that if they were just referring to the ASW aircraft, but then they say including the one of the ASW aircraft. So are we potentially getting a battleship with an airstrike armament? I don't know. I don't know if it's a typo or if it's just like, again, another translation thing. They meant to say, in parentheses, ASW aircraft. I don't know, but that's interesting how they worded that. So I don't know, maybe a Dutch battleship with an airstrikes in the future. Who knows? Line 4. Added a new skill instead of brisk. Activated effect. -5% to the main battery reload time, and +5% to the dispersion of shells fired by enemies attacking your ship for each active fire set on your ship. The name of the skill is currently a work in progress. So this is like, I got 4 fires on my GK, but man, I'm going to be a god for a little bit before I go down. With a 20% boost to my main battery reload time and a 20% increase to the dispersion of the shells being fired at you. I'm not sure how useful this is going to be, because most good Battleship players, they hold their damage con for multiple fires, because letting multiple fires burn on you is a terrible decision. And if you're in a situation where you've got 4 fires set on your ship, you're out of damage con, and you have to let that burn, you're going down. Like, you're just dead at that point, unless you got some, maybe you got a smoke screen if you're an Italian battleship, or you got someone coming to smoke you up, or you're about to go behind an island. But, I mean, it sounds like a nice thing to have, since you're getting something out of being burned to death, but I'm not sure how useful it's going to be, and it's kind of encouraging you to let those fires burn. Now, one fire, yeah, a 5% buff to your main battery reload time, and a 5% buff to the 5% increase to the dispersion of shells being fired at you. If you just got one fire burning, yeah, that sounds okay. But to really get this skill to its max, you have to let like 4 fires burn at once, which is terrible. But yeah, well, I guess we'll see how this works out. And plus, like with the current captain skill system, most of the good builds right now, all the points are already taken up, so you can't really do too much about it. Alright, the one that everyone wants to hear about. Improved secondary battery aiming. Added permanent effects. So this is just going on top of what we have right now. -10% to the secondary battery reload time. -10% to the dispersion of secondary battery shells. So that's already going. That's just what's already happening on top. Change the mechanics of the bonus to the maximum dispersion of the secondary battery shells fired at a priority target. So priority targets when you click on a ship and tell my secondaries, hey, shoot at that. Activated effect. The accuracy of the secondary battery on a priority target gradually increases with the continuous firing of the secondary battery. The maximum bonus to the secondary battery from the activated effect is +50%. This can be achieved if the secondary battery was continuously firing for 45 seconds. If the secondary battery is not fired for 15 seconds, the bonus to the accuracy from the activated effect gradually decreases. When the priority target is changed, the bonus to the accuracy on the new priority target from the activated effect is instantly bumped down to 75% of the accumulated bonus. Close quarters combat, remove the bonus to the -10% to the secondary battery reload time. Okay, so this is some very good news. This is a big change to the new improved secondary battery aiming skill. So old manual fire for secondaries. So we're getting, again, that 10% buff to the reload time and to the dispersion. That's just already in that skill now. And close quarters combat no longer gives you that bonus. So that's been moved to this skill now. And with this skill, you're getting a boost to 10% to the dispersion of your secondaries. And again, that's just by instant already. To both sides, so to the side that you can click on, the side that you don't click on. Now, the boost is, of course, the big thing now. So after you fire for 45 seconds with your secondary battery guns at a target, you will get a +50% boost to your dispersion. Add that to the 10%, that's 60%. So now you're basically getting the old 60% boost back to the dispersion in this one skill now. After 45 seconds of firing at a target. And it does kind of suck that it's not going instantly to that increased dispersion, but it makes sense that after firing at a target, your secondaries would generally become more and more accurate. And with Germans too, we got the boost to the base accuracy by like 20% a while ago, so now we're back up to like 80% with the German secondaries. So this might make it more viable to run secondary builds on some of the old secondary ships. I'm not too sure, though, on ships like the Shikishima, for example, which, please, for the love of God, give them that 20% buff that you gave to the Germans, and Shikishima will be great again. Not that Shikishima's bad or anything right now. It's very good. In fact, you're probably watching Shikishima gameplay right now. But I just, so many players saved up steel for this ship because it was a viable secondary build, tier 10 Japanese battleship. And this is a huge step in the right direction for Shikishima and for all secondary battleships. But again, still, just that hard just ripping off of the effect beforehand kind of sucked. But this is getting us almost all the way back. Now, granted, you have to be firing for 45 seconds, and I don't see in here that they're removing the German boost to accuracy. So that means German secondaries are going to be really freaking accurate after this. So this is a huge step forward for the Germans, which, I mean, they outright buffed the Germans. Again, if they didn't remove that 20% flatline buff that they gave to the German secondaries to their accuracy. So German BBs, if I'm reading this correctly and it stays like this, it's going to be a good time to play a German battleship if you can get within secondary range too. And the 45-second thing, I know some players say, well, 45 seconds, that's quite a long time to be shooting at a ship with secondaries. Well, most ships nowadays, you're firing at them with your secondaries for probably well over 45 seconds. You just don't realize it because of how fast the game's going. Well, I mean, your perception of time is kind of screwed up when you're playing video games anyway. You tend to spend longer doing them than you realize. But 45 seconds on like the GK with a 12.5 kilometer maximum firing range, that's really not much time at all. You'll easily get this boost on anything that's larger than a light cruiser. DD's not so much. I mean, if you got them hydroed and they're staying within your hydro range because they can't get away from you, yeah, you will. But that is where the downside comes in, that it has to build up to it over 45 seconds, and you don't get that instant buff. But I do think overall this is a massive change for the better for battleships, especially again for German battleships. And who knows, maybe with this new system, the old secondary ships like the Shikishima and, well, Siegfried can't even take this, but the French and some of the American battleships, actually, no, good God, the American battleships are just going to be stupidly accurate too. But yeah, again, massive buffed secondaries here, in my opinion. Again, if I'm reading this correctly, and if they aren't changing the outright buff they gave to the accuracy to German BB secondaries so long ago. So again, I'm very excited to hear that, and I can't wait to see how this comes out. Alright, so moving on down to cruisers now. So line 2, so your 2-point skill, so they didn't change any of the 1-point skills. Add a bonus plus 15% to the frag. Okay, so the same as the BB skill, you're getting a bigger area for your HE shells to damage submarines. Expert A marksman added a bonus. Negative 10% to the reload time of the airstrike armament, including the one of the ASW defense aircraft. I don't think any of the cruisers had the ASW airstrike, unless I missed it when the subtest was out. But again, this is also going to be useful to the Dutch cruisers too. So there we go. Line 4, so 4-point skill. Outnumbered. Bonus to the main battery accuracy and ship speed is now activated when there are not only more visible ships. Oh my God, this is worded so weirdly. When there are not only more visible enemy ships and allies, but also the same number of them within the firing range of your ship's main battery. The bonus will also be active when there are both no enemy or ally ships within the firing range of your hold up. The bonus will also be active when there are both no enemy or allied ships within the firing range of your ship's main. What? So the bonus is going to be active when there's nothing within the firing range of your ship's main battery? Well, what use is that? What the heck? Okay. The bonus will also be active when there are both no enemy or allied ships. So when you're alone, you get a boost to your ship's accuracy. Oh, the ship's accuracy and speed. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense why you'd want the speed boost. Okay, that makes sense. All right. About to freak out there for a second. All right, AA Gunner added a bonus plus 15% damage caused by depth charges. Added an activated effect. Ship consumables reload 10% faster while the ship's AA is active. So, like the BBs, but they get a 10% boost. Alright, Destroyers, Line 2, Power Technician. Okay, same thing, except, yeah, 15% buff to the fragmentation area of HE and secondary battery shells when firing at submarines. Extra heavy AP shells. Added a bonus plus 10% damage caused by depth charges. That's weird that goes there, okay. Aircraft carrier skills, Line 4, Hidden Menace, added a bonus, negative 50% to the height which planes have to reach to become invulnerable, either after an attack or after recalling them to the carrier by pressing F. With this skill active, squadrons will reach this height at which they will become invulnerable to AA faster. Oh boy. But I think if I'm not mistaken, this also, I think this skill also like cuts the squadron's returning speed down in half too. So now they only have to reach half the height they did before to where they would become invulnerable to AA. But I think it cuts their speed down in half too, if I'm remembering correctly. So yeah, it's a nice buff, but your planes are going to be returned to your carrier frickin' slow, which when you're playing a carrier, it's a huge thing that you get those cycle times on your planes as fast as possible. So it's an interesting choice, but again, your planes will become invulnerable to AA a lot faster, which is a huge thing as well. Alright, with the release of Update 10.7, all players will have a 100% discount on the Commander Skills reset. All the details will be announced later. Please note that all information in the DevBlog is preliminary. Announced adjustments and features may change multiple times during testing. The final information published on the game's website. Okay, so I think I pretty much said what I want to say about each set of skills. So just wrapping up here, huge buff to German battleships coming in with the secondary skills being changed. It's really like a rework of the skills too, and I am very happy that they're doing this. Again, it's looking like we'll be able to get like a 80% boost to our secondaries accuracy with the German BBs at least, which again, massive buff. And I do like the way the mechanic works with you having to keep the secondaries firing on the target and they get more accurate. Makes a lot of sense mechanic-wise and just, looking at how naval artillery worked historically. So cannot wait for this to come out. And apparently this is going live in 10.7. It's not going on the super test for 10.7. So I think this is 2 patches away because I think next patch is 10.6, then 10.7. So yeah, around mid to late August is when this should be hitting the server. So I'm going to be looking just tremendously forward to this, as I'm sure most of you will as well. So let me know in the comments down below, guys. Are you excited for these changes? Are you excited for this apparent massive buff secondaries are getting? I know I for sure am. But anyway, again, let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 30,000 subs, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that we're on our way there. We've already passed 27,000 a few days ago. So guys, hope you have a wonderful Saturday. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.